Head over to stretfordpaddock.bigcartel.com and check out the Paddock merch. And for a short time, you can get 20% off orders with 2 items or more using the code Paddock20. Go get on it.
Yes, everybody, what's going on? My name's Stephen Howson. This is the transfer review, and it's raining at Old Trafford, if you like that sort of thing. First up, we are talking about Sami Khedira. Is it 2015 again, Steve? No, it's not. Bear with me, though, because there might be some more that we're talking about, which makes you feel a little bit like it's deja vu. Now, Sami Khedira has been talking to Sky Germany, so that means United are on red alert. What does that mean? What does red alert mean for an old midfielder? Honestly. Apparently United are on red alert, but apparently he's also interesting the likes of Spurs and Everton because he name-dropped Mourinho and Ancelotti in an interview. Honest to God, this is from the Mirror, by the way. Who the fuck comes up with this shit? I don't know how to say das is bullshit, yeah? Like, this is nonsense, and it's 0 out of 10, mate. Next up, we've got Mcconnell, and Mcconnell's obviously someone that's a little bit more of a realistic target, even though I think it's on the unlikely side of things. And talking to Build, or in Build, they've been talking about him, and they're saying his future might be decided as early as January. He's got that 40 million-ish release clause fee, and it says United might try and activate it after the great start that he's had so far this season. Great start this season, not too sure about that, brother. But either way, they're saying that he might be looking at finalising his future in January. Now, last week we was talking about the fact that Bayern Munich are going to let Jerome Boateng go, and when Bayern Munich enter the race for a player that plays in Germany, that usually means it's game over and you're not going to get that player out of Germany. I think it's definitely one to keep an eye on because I think that United have identified a need that he fulfills, and the money that's on the table for him is not a lot of cash for someone that's got so much potential, for someone that could potentially be United's centre-half leader for at least 10 years, if not 15 years. I think this is an absolute no-brainer for me, but the difficulty lies in who do we go up against. They've mentioned Liverpool being up against it. Now, Liverpool could quite simply go and move in January. The injury that they've sustained to Virgil van Dijk, rest in peace, and the injury that they've sustained to the rest of their team, they're probably going to dip into the market in January, otherwise they might see their season utterly and completely collapse. Mcconnell supposedly someone that's on their list as well. Add to that Bayern Munich, and you think like him coming to United is going to be rough, isn't it? So I think that United are definitely interested in the guy. Whether or not that's reciprocated and whether or not you're able to pull it off in January, I'd say, look, the odds of him coming to United in January at the moment feels like 2 out of 10 at best. Next up, Kamavinga. And here's a bit of bullshit bingo for you. So Marca are saying that United are going to be going up against PSG and Real Madrid. Wow, what a collection of names, Steve, innit, right? Why is it not Borussia Mönchengladbach? Why is it not fucking Wolves? Why is it the same names that get lumped in the same thing? They go, who's the biggest teams in France, Spain and England? That'll be United, Madrid and PSG. That's who's interested in him. Are they? Or are you just making names up, you fucking absolute clickbait merchants? There's not a prayer that just happens to be the 3 clubs that are interested in a midfielder from Rennes. Now, the difference is why maybe Everton aren't in for him, why maybe Southampton aren't in for him, is they're quoting the price of this little bastard at £62 million. What? Now, all right, yeah, hella potential, fantastic footballer, but £62 million, a lot of scratch for an 18-year-old kid. For a midfielder as well. You get away with this with strikers and wingers. They always seem to go for absolutely crazy money, but £62 million for a kid, let's be honest, has done the square root of fuck all at the moment. What he's doing at Rennes, Angel Gomez is doing a lot better at Boa Vista. And is there much difference between the French and the Portuguese league? Is there £60 million worth of difference between the French and the Portuguese league? And actually we'll find out how Angel goes when he hits France after his loan finishes at Boa Vista. £62 million when United umdenad over the price of all sorts of shit is not going to happen. If we wouldn't have paid £80 million for Jack Grealish, proven in the Premier League, absolutely smashing it, we're not paying £62 million for this little fucker. It's not going to happen. So On top of the fact that he's only been linked with PSG, Real Madrid, Manchester United, you're like, yawn. He ain't coming to United, not this window anyway. I'm going to, fucking 0 out of 10, none. And just like earlier, I said, like, it might feel like 2015 all over again. Well, there's a name from 5 years ago for you. Sergio Ramos. Do you remember when Sergio Ramos basically used us to get a new fat deal at Real Madrid? Well, fucking guess what? United are apparently back in the mixer for him. This is according to Marca and the formerly great local newspaper, now disreputable online blog, the Manchester Evening News. And they're saying that United could be going for him because he's struggling to agree a contract at Real Madrid. Fucking is it? Canada Sur, the local radio station, is also saying, though, that he looks like he's about to agree a 2-year deal with Real Madrid, and it could be announced as soon as next week. What do you think's the more likely to happen, fellas? Is he going to go to Manchester United and play in the Premier League? Or is he going to sign a new contract with Real Madrid where he's the captain and he's been there forever and ever and ever? Amen. Of course he's going to sign a new deal. Of course he's not coming to United. And when you throw this into the mix that last week there was talks of United being interested in Rafael Varane, do you honestly think that there's any chance whatsoever of United being able to go to Real Madrid and get both of their centre-halves? Boil your fucking head. That is not happening at all. Not only that, when was the last time United went to anywhere like Real Madrid and took a player off them? Not happening. 0 out of 10. That was the ins. This is the outs. First up on the outs, Dean Henderson. Big season this for Dean Henderson. He spent a couple of seasons out there on loan. He'd started to really establish himself in the conversation for being England's goalkeeper, and I think a lot of people would suggest he might be England's goalkeeper. And then he comes back to United, he's putting a lot of pressure on David De Gea, and it was a big season for both goalkeepers, really, because this could have gone either way. This could have been the season where David De Gea absolutely folds and Dean Henderson becomes Manchester United's number one, or it could have been the season where what looks like happening is David De Gea's maintained his place as number one, and Dean Henderson's barely got a look in. Now, Kevin Phillips has been talking. Why this is relevant to Kevin Phillips, I don't fucking know, but all right. So Kevin Phillips said last week, week in, week out, he was being spoken about as the best young goalkeeper in England, and rightly so. And this year, he's hardly played any football. Now, yeah, that's what happens when you make the decision that he's made. He's still extremely young. He's still got a hell of a future ahead of him. And if he spends 1 year working on whatever he's working on in training with the goalkeeping coaches and as an understudy to David De Gea, I'm sure it's going to be beneficial to him as his career goes on. That being said, of course you need to play football to improve. That's a given. Without a shadow of a doubt, you need to be playing first-team football. But coming out and saying he needs to go out on loan, like, he's not been on loan for the past 4 fucking seasons, Kevin. That's exactly what he's been doing, out on loan. Maybe Manchester United now say, a season here with us, we'll see exactly what you're made of, and we'll make a decision whether you're going to be our number one, or maybe it's time for you to move on come the end of the season. I think that's a perfectly valid thing to do with a goalkeeper of this age. I think that's absolutely fine. Suggesting he needs to go out on loan. And then, check this out. Here's the 2 teams he says he needs to go out on loan to. Leeds, not happening. Shut the fuck up. Celtic. Okay, so you on one hand you say he needs to play football. Now, the reason that you say he needs to play football is because he's got to be challenged harder than he is in training. Why would he go to Celtic, mate? I don't know what you're all thinking. Don't you dare comment it. Honestly, is there a fucking easier... I could be Celtic's goalkeeper. Is Dean Henderson going to... Like, him going to Shrewsbury getting Player of the Year, him going to Sheffield United getting Player of the Year, was because he went to a couple of teams that were not well fancied, and he was the difference maker between them achieving and not achieving. He's going to go to Celtic and make no difference. At all. None. They probably keep an extra 2 fucking clean sheets because he's there. That's it. It would be a waste of his time to go to Celtic. If it was a striker, if it was a winger, if it was an attacking player that was looking to maybe develop, I think Scottish football would be a great place to go and develop. Because, no disrespect to Scottish football, it's not as hard as the Premier League. So when you go to places like what Angel's doing in Portugal at the moment, there's places you can go and you can do stuff because it allows you, it's a little bit of an easier way to blood yourself in. That's the opposite. If you're a centre-half, you're not going to stand out playing for Celtic. If you're a goalkeeper, you're not going to stand out playing for Celtic. It's too fucking easy. So, I mean, do I think he might go out on loan? Yeah, I do. I think there's a chance that he might go out on loan. I think there's a reason that United was so reluctant to allow Sergio Ramos to go. And I think that might be one of the considerations that they're looking at. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, just saying it's a possibility if he's not happy, but he seems fairly happy to me. So I'm going to say Dean Henderson going on loan to Celtic, fucking minus 99 out of 10. Not happening at all. And if he does, it's ridiculous. Dan James, on loan to Everton is the rumour, and this is in the Liverpool Echo via Football Insider. And they're saying Everton are monitoring the situation of Dan James and might make a move for him in January with a view to him going on loan. That's an interesting one. And it's one that I think has got the potential to happen. Dan James speaking about his situation at United in the middle of the week. One of the things he was saying is, of course, I'm not playing as much as I was last season. I'm very proud to be part of Manchester United. And he obviously starts talking about how proud he is to play for Wales. This is all well and good. I think there's a chance that the same reason we didn't want to strengthen Everton with Sergio Romero might also be the case with Dan James. United are extremely thin in the wide areas. Whether or not you think Dan James is a good player, is a good winger, is of the standard to play for Manchester United, here's the top and bottom of it. He does play for Manchester United, and he plays in a position that we do not have any depth whatsoever. Allowing him to go out on loan makes no sense. And I know that you've got Palestri at the club, and I know that you've got Diallo coming in very soon as well, but from what I've seen of both of those guys, they're not ready to play in the Premier League either. And if you're frustrated with Dan James, you're going to be pulling your hair out with them too. So I would be very shocked to see Dan James go to Everton on loan when United are so absolutely empty in the position that he plays. The only way I think that could even be a possibility is if Manchester United sign someone like a Jadon Sancho in January. And let's be real, is that going to fucking happen? I mean, it could. It's not going well for him at Dortmund this season. Maybe Dortmund go, do you know what? We've had a good old time at the old casino here tonight. Let's cash in our chips. That could be a possibility, but doesn't feel like it'd happen to me. Doesn't feel like United have got the will to spend that sort of money to me. But anyway, that's my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for the game. Laters.